Hello traders, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I'm going to be teaching you guys how I executed this trade using market structure, order flow, supply and demand, liquidity, and incorporating this with the NFP news that came out today, which is the first Friday of December. So make sure you watch this entire episode because you'll be learning a ton of information on how to refine order flows and supply and demands and also execute a trade using this type of information. I'm also going to show you where to put your stop loss and your TB. So make sure you watch this entire episode. Also, if you want to upgrade your knowledge, there's an ebook that I've written about 130 pages. You can get the link in the description down below. Also, follow me on social media. Well, thank you very much. Let's get into the video. So here is GBP USD on the 4-hour time frame. Actually, what I'm going to be focusing today is this information and this information here, which is a recent data. All right. So we can see that the price is creating high highs, high lows on the left. Okay. This is an uptrend very clearly. We can see that price is trending to the upside on the 4-hour time frame, which is the time frame that you need to focus if you are an intraday trader. All right. So once we identify we have a price that's going to the upside on the 4-hour time frame, but we also have to identify we have a break of a structure right here. We have a break of a structure right here. And we also have some type of imbalance that we need to focus because this entire area is an imbalance that needs to be filled. All right. We can also see that price is right now reversed from this area of demand, which is why the price tapped here and then went back right away, because there was an order flow or an area of demand which wasn't mitigated. If you can see this entire wick area or this entire shadow is not touched yet. This candle did not touch anything, so there's nothing touched here. And we also have an order flow. We also have an imbalance below this area. So now we know why the price tapped here and then reversed right after that. But now our job is to identify the market structure on the right, which is this here. All right. On the right, we can see that we have a high, we have a low, we have a lower highs, we have a lower lows, we have a lower highs, and then we have a lower lows. We can see price breaking structures and then mitigating this order flows. And then also price mitigated this order flow right here. And we can see now price is mitigating this order flow, which is the last pullback before the break of this structure here. All right. Sorry, before the break of this structure right here, which is the recent break of structure. All right. So now let me delete all this stuff because it's relevant. It's not relevant for me right now. So I'm focusing this order flow and this move, and then I'm focusing on this move and what it does around this area of order flow or supply zone. When you find an order flow and you refine it, it becomes a supply or it becomes a demand if it's a buyer's market. So right now we are looking for a seller's market because we know that this area needs to be mitigated, and we know that there is an NFP news that was coming out today, which is Friday, or the first Friday of December. Okay, so now that we have identified this break of structure, which is our last break of structure on this small data right here, we're gonna be going to the 15-minute time frame to refine that order flow and find the relevant supply zone, because that is what we have to do. All right. Now we have this entire order flow. So now how do we refine this area and find the precise supply zone before we basically decide to sell around this zone? We can see that price is creating low, high, high, low, high, high, which is an internal, and then high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, high, higher low, and then higher high, higher low, and then after that we have a small higher high. All right. This is an internal pullback before the down move, so that's why we have it this way. Okay, now we're gonna go all the way down to even the lower time frame. Okay, we can see that on the 5-minute time frame, we can see that this order flow becomes smaller and smaller. We have this order flow here, which is already mitigated by this move here. Again, we have this order flow that's also mitigated by this move here. We also have another order flow here that was mitigated by this moves here. And now we have another order flow, which is this entire thing that was mitigated by this area here. But now we need our last order flow, which we have to go to the 1-minute time frame in order to refine and get the precise entry. You always have to refine your zones by going to the lower time frame if you are an intraday trader and finding the precise location. So now we're going to go all the way. We can see high highs, high lows, higher highs. Okay, we can see that this is our last order flow, which is right here. But then we have a shadow, which is this one right here, tapped, but the price did not touch the entire thing. So now this becomes our this shadow here becomes our supply zone on the 1-minute time frame. All right, on the 1-minute time frame, we can see that price is already reversing from the 1-minute time frame, but we need a confirmation, and you have two choices here, guys. Okay, you have two ways. First of all, you have to know that the NFP news is coming out, which will affect the way the market moves because we don't know the data that's going to be coming out and the results. Okay, so therefore we have to be cautious, and we also have to find a tighter stop loss or a sniper entry in order to get a good risk to reward ratio. All right, so here we can see that we have a area which is a pullback. We can see price moving up, creating small mini pullback, and then creating a move to the upside, tapping on the 1-minute supply zone. All right, so your choices is either you sell, you started selling from here, which is a risky or an aggressive entry, okay, or you waited for a proper confirmation, which I waited for the proper confirmation by waiting for this area to be taken out, and then okay, so now I see that this area is taken out already, which price now created a change of character on the 1-minute time frame. I'm trying to minimize my stop loss as much as I can and get the best out of this trade, and that's what I did. All right, so here you can see that there's an order flow. You can see that there's a move down and there's a move up, okay, which we can see the candle traded above this bearish candle, which is a proper pullback, mini pullback. We can see the price trending back to the order flow and then tapping on it and then leaving that area right after that. Okay, now we have another break of structure, which is another order flow right here. This order flow caused the change of character, but also price has to come back and mitigate this entire zone. Okay, all right, so now what I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for the price to get back to this zone to mitigate and then continue going to the downside, and then targeting where again we are going to be targeting the area here. Okay, we are targeting this area of the 4-hour time frame. Remember, there was an imbalance going on over here that needs to be filled, so this is the area that we're going to be targeting. Okay, now on the 1-minute time frame, let me go ahead and set my trades right there, right here, after the break of this mini structure before the change of character. Remember, there was a mini break of structure right here, which left an order flow, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So since we are on the 1-minute time frame, I don't want to refine this even more because it's not possible. So now I'm going to put what I did was I put my stop loss right here, about 17 pips above the 4-hour main structure right there. to be on the safe side. And the reason why I did that is because when the NFP news comes out, there is always a big gap or a spread that will take you out, and then market might end up going into your favor after it takes you out. So you might want to have a cushion of stop loss where if that happens to you, you're not going to be taken out. All right. So now what I did was I put my stop loss over here about 17 pips, and I targeted the 4-hour area of imbalance. Area of imbalance, which was right here. Okay, now let me go back to the lower time frame and see how this plays out. Okay, price already tapped on our entry. We can see that right already. We already get a trade executed. So now we're waiting for the results. Now we're waiting for the results. There is another entry. If you missed this one, there was another there was also another entry after the break of this structure. There was another entry here if you missed it, which is this order flow right here. But that's not what I was focused. My entry was right here, and I waited for the price to take my TB. As you can see, price still moving. Price went back to our entry again, but it did not take us out yet because we have a cushion. And then again, if you missed this entry, and then you missed this entry, there was another entry right around this area that you could take. And then boom, there was an NFV news that came out, and then right after that, it tapped on our what do you call it, TB. You can see that the NFV news came out right here, making it was about 60 pips, but I did not catch the entire 60 pip. I only caught a little bit of that, which the trade gave me about 67 pips straight up without any issues. But this was the candle that came out around the NFP news on 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, which is a New York time. Okay. All right. So this is exactly how it played out. Very easy, concise, without any confusion. And I also used, like I told you guys, I used the NFP news to incorporate, with my strategy. So if you go to my FX book and check the calendar, we can see that there was an NFP news that was coming out today, which is right here. It was a high impact news, and it always is, if you didn't know that. There was also an unemployment news that was coming out, which is also a high impact news. All right. There was also a non-farm payroll private that came out today, which was also a high impact news. But my focus was this, and this. I did not worry about the rest of the news. So we can see that news came out to 199. Okay, 199. If we touch it, we can see that we have a 199. So what I do is I don't look at the actual. I don't look at the consensus or the forecast. What I compare is, if you want to know, is I compare the previous, which was the 150K, and I want the actual to be better than the previous news, which makes it better news. I don't care about what they are expecting. I don't care about what their consensus is. So my focus is only the previous and the actual, which means the actual now was better than 19,000, better than the previous. The actual was better than the previous. When they compared this to this, it was 19,000 different. But when you look at the previous, it was almost about, I think, about 49,000 different, right? You can see that. So this was a good news. The price worked with the market structure, the order flow, the supply and demand, the what do you call everything that you can see over here played out very well. So this is how I executed this trade, guys. Okay. So a lot of you guys have been also asking me how I look at the news, and I already explained this to you. When you look at the news, you only compare the previous and the actual. You don't worry about the consensus or the forecast, okay? So this is what they are thinking that is going to come out. but your job is to compare this, which is the actual news, and or this, which is the previous news, and the actual news, which is right here. Anyways, if you guys like this video, please go ahead and like this video, share it with your friends. If you have any questions about this episode, please leave it in the comment section. If you have any video suggestion that I need to work on, please give me your ideas, because I always read your comments and make videos based on your comments. All right. If you want to upgrade your knowledge, there's an ebook that will probably cost you about $300 if you buy that knowledge from the market, or you might not get that good information. But if you can get this ebook, you can get it for way, way, way cheaper. And the link is in the description down below. Again, this is your brother Jamal. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for finishing this video until the end. Until next time, peace.